right, now I'm back. Greg Carrington.
Yes.
Greg put this all together for me in Bethesda Healing Center.
Yeah.
It was you were the plug.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I have to have you on.
Yeah.
Personally, first and foremost, some background. Greg and I went to high school together. We lost contact as it was
Life.
usual. Yeah, it was life.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got back together. Came back around, but. Greg is not the person that I went to high school with. That was the first thing that we spoke about,
Yeah.
and I kind of admired you from afar.
Yeah.
About a year ago, I started noticing bits of changing your message on social media,
Yeah.
and it kind of got me. It perked my ears up a little bit. I'm like, what's going on with this guy? And
Yeah.
I kept on looking, and here I am today. So the floor is yours, Greg. Like,
Yeah, man.
what the hell happened?
Exactly. You knew me. In high school, a lot of other people probably watching will remember me from high school and remember the Greg from high school.
Right.
But so a little background on me. I've always grown up in church.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't always follow what I was taught, which is what you saw as a result in high school.
Oh yeah.
The foul mouth, drinking, partying, dirty Greg. And I lived that life for a long time. If you were to ask me what happened, like what initially happened, it wasn't something that one particular event that took place. I just experienced basically the grace of God throughout my life. A lot of the crazy, stupid stuff I used to do in high school. Even after that, drinking, driving. I got into an accident. I don't know if you could see, but I have a scar on my head. I fell out. I fell off of a car. Bust my head wide open. Yeah, and throughout all of my nonsense and not listening to my teachings, for me, that's when I experienced God the most.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing the most dirt in my life is when God really showed Himself to me, and it isn't like what people would expect. Oh, as a Christian, you expect you're doing wrong, so God is He's gonna get you,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what church has portrayed God to be, this taskmaster that, oh, you step out of line, oh, He's gonna smite you, He's gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
But with my experience, it was a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
God actually kept on blessing me and showing me His grace and His favor and His mercy
Mm-hmm.
throughout me doing all of the nonsense that I was doing, not living according to His word, not following Him. He continued to bless me. And I'm here waiting for God to curse me. I'm like, all right, I'm living this life, and God is gonna curse me. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. And I'm waiting for it. And it never came.
Mm-hmm.
He just kept blessing me and blessing me and blessing me and showing me His love and His mercy. Everywhere I stepped into, I saw His mercy and His favor. Even in high school, bro, I don't know how I graduated high school. You know me. I did no homework. I told somebody the other day, I did absolutely no homework. What I could do is I could take a test. I'm an intelligent guy. God had given me intelligence, but I didn't act on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how I passed. I did no homework. I did no projects. I came to school. I used to cut school. You remember me getting drunk in school,
Before local days?
Oh, right. See, you remember. I used to come into lunchroom. I used to be drunk. There was one day I got drunk. I didn't go to any classes, bro. I just came in the lunchroom and sat down from first period straight through the 8th.
Yeah.
And it's God still allowed me to graduate high school. And then He allowed me to graduate high school. I didn't complete college.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a decent job. Where most people are running around trying to find a job, they can't find one. I have one.
Right.
And this is because God kept blessing me, and that was what changed me. It was one day I snapped, and I'm like, you know what? This being that would look at somebody like me, and still continue to bless me and show me His grace.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do something. I need to make a change. I need to switch my behavior. I need to live for this thing that has been washing over me from the time I was born. There's been prophetic word over my life from the time I was a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
I've been running from it since then, but the culmination of it happened last night.
Right.
I was actually called to speak at our youth convention, say something, and I ministered. God ministered through me.
I need that video, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get that to you.
That's gonna go out as soon as I get it. Do you feel as if you had to go through, what you did or if rewarded the opportunity, would you want to go back to your younger self and like this one time slap you top the back of your head?
Yeah, like get it together, Greg.
Like, do you think it means a lot more than you went through it, or?
I'm a firm believer that we all do things for a purpose, no matter how bad and how good.
Right.
Me personally, a lot of the stuff I wish I would have avoided, but I know that if I did avoid it, I wouldn't be this person today. I wouldn't be able to speak to certain people. I wouldn't be able to see something from other people's viewpoint in order to get my message or get God's message across. I feel that He allowed me to go through these things, allowed me to make these stupid decisions in order to be here now. So yes and no. I would like to do it for my own sake, like, because when I look at a lot of the stuff like that I got caught up in, like, sex, pornography, alcoholism, like, I wouldn't call myself an alcoholic, but I used to drink. So in some ways I was an alcoholic. I used to go out and party, wasted time.
More than you needed to. And more than you would have liked to.
Yeah, like, like it was like when I'm like, dude, like, I didn't have to do all of that stuff. Like the sex, like, if I could go back, I would change that a lot, because now that I have tasted it,
right,
I know what it is.
Right.
Now I want it. Now I'm not gonna say all the time, but I want it.
Right.
And according, like, if I'm gonna live my life according to what I now, like, what I stand on now firmly, that's not how I could live my life. So to answer the question, yes, I think I did have to go through it to get here.
Right.
But I wish some of the things I avoided and I didn't have to go through.
Right. Now, what do you, when you see, I'm pretty sure you see a lot of other Greg Carringtons, right?
Oh,
or
yeah.
younger kids.
Yeah.
Do you sympathize? What goes through your head when you see one of those kids?
So, especially here at Bethesda, when I see some of the young guys going down the same path as me, I can talk to them, and a lot of them listen to me because of they knew who I was. A lot of them grew up in here just like me, so my behavior outside, I also brought it in here. Like, I didn't care. Like, I remember I used to get on Facebook and curse people out. Like, mind y'all F-word business, like, get out, like, all that crazy stuff. Also, a lot of them saw it, so they knew where I was, and they see where I am now.
Yeah.
So when I see them, I automatically, I do sympathize, because I know what it's like. And then as each generation goes by, things only get worse. Certain images and certain things are more accessible to them, and now we live in such a hyper-sexualized environment. These young men have to now grow up in that. So, when I speak to them, I'm like, hey, dude, avoid this. I see what you're doing. I see them if they're talking to a young lady, or I'm like, hey, brother, like, take it easy. Listen to somebody who's been there,
Yeah.
Just the other day, some of the youth, some of the young guys, they got into a beef with one of their friends. And a situation happened to me a while ago where, like, I lost some good friends because of some crazy stuff that I did. So I was able to talk to them and say, hey, look, you don't just dead people, especially if they're your boy. Life's too short, You gotta make it right before, so yeah, like, I do sympathize and I do reach out and I do my best to try to impart some of the things that I learned in them so they don't make the same mistakes that I did.
Wow, that's good. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Now, what's the plan moving forward? What is Greg Carrington up to?
So moving forward, I'll give you both spiritually and what I'm doing here as a human. But for I'll start with work and then I'll close with the spiritual. Right now I'm in banking. I'm a banker at Chase. Finance, I'm good at it. It's not something that I want to do for the rest of my life. I eventually want to own my own business, businesses. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of dreams that I want. Film is a big part of that for me. I recently started to write scripts. Actually put that script on the screen.
Right.
I had my little directorial debut, whatever you want to call it.
I saw it. It's an amazing video.
Yeah.
It's also the video on that we shared.
Yeah, Say Something. That was also a little mini project. I had to do that. They actually gave me the task of doing that. I had to do that one day. They hit me up in the morning. They're like, hey, yeah, we need a promo video for Youth Convention. I'm like, what? Yeah, we need it by Friday. This was Thursday.
Jesus.
So I made a few phone calls, got in touch with our old high school buddy, Jahil. He was a big part of that, and I thank him for that. So yeah, like, I'm like that's my goal. Like, I want to get into film, right? I want to own my own business. I'm kind of, you know, I don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none, but I do have a lot of dreams, and hopefully I'll get a lot of that out. So that's it for, like, you know, like what I personally want to do. Spiritually, you know, last night was a big night for me.
Yeah.
That was, I'm telling you, you know, like the journey that you know most of the journey of what I've had. So last night, that was a nice springboard into where I want God to take me. Essentially, I'm just his vessel. I'm willing for him to use me in whatever form or fashion he wants to use me. I'm just availing myself to him. So it's up to him. Whatever he wants to do with me, you know, if I'm called to minister, I'm going to minister. If I'm called to evangelize, I'm going to evangelize. If I need to do missions, which I've done, if that's my calling, I'm going to continue to do missions work, you know? So I'm just here for whatever purpose God has me to do, like whatever he wants me to do.
Oh, and on that, thank you so much, Greg.
All right.
Once again, this is Beautiful Minds, and
Yes.
this event today wouldn't have happened.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for him reaching out to me. So,
man. And I'm thanking you for letting the world see what we're doing here, man.
I'm trying. Thank you so much.